All right. What's up, fams? Getting in that second episode of the Booggie Broadcast. I have a good feeling about this one. I'm going to make this one as organic as Whole Foods. This is going to be a real, recognized, real show. You know what I'm saying? Again, in the studio, I've got my guy here.
Cy Guy
McCormick.
Cy the Guy McCormick. Yeah.
All right, man.
Let me put that up.
So you had something cool you wanted to talk about today?
Yeah, man. So I was listening to something today, and I didn't know this. Guardians of the Galaxy. Our boy James Gunn, director, in 2018. They booted the guy, man. They said we don't want you here. He said why? And apparently he had some nasty tweets.
They were pretty borderline. Like one of them was funny. Let me see if I can find the funny one. But tell us what you thought about him, because I thought just a couple of them were kind of like
no. I when I was reading them, I have one of those sense of humors there. It's kind of it's a borderline sense of humor. I like to joke about things that normal people wouldn't joke about, and that's okay. But some of his tweets were a little too much. Yeah, we wanted to show them, but we decided that's probably not a good idea.
One of them I probably could show. I'm trying to find it right now. Actually, I had it pulled up, but right now they're saying like these are, and look, all these websites are really rough around the edges when it comes to what really happened.
Yeah.
The same essential thing when it comes to news networks. The same, I guess. I would think the same thing is the problem that you have is censorship.
Yeah.
Which is a huge thing, and you have people getting like deplatformed. I don't know if you heard too much about that. Basically, what's happening, or people are saying things years ago. In James's case, it was what? It was 2009 and 2011.
6.
In 2011, this is something Cy said. Cy said, this is when people started getting more sensitive. Yeah, and censorship is good in certain areas, especially like what YouTube did is they made a YouTube Kids.
Yeah.
Which was awesome and good for them.
And
then the Momo thing. Well, I mean that goes to show that there's no like one way of doing anything, but there's no secure and like 100% proof way of doing anything. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was saying, he was. Let me see. I don't want to paraphrase this one. Some of these are really... Y'all might want to Google some of these. Some of these are probably NSFW. But one of them was the shower one. And that's the one I wanted to find and read, because that one was kind of funny. Like it wasn't too much.
Yeah.
Some of these other ones were too much. But look, that's the thing. Is people have their own humors. I'm not going to judge somebody for having an odd sense of humor. No. I'm an odd dude. Yeah. I think, but like... Clean comedy to me is my favorite. Yeah. It's hilarious, man. It's hard to do.
It is very hard to do.
And a lot of people aren't very successful in it. We got Jim Gaffigan. You got Brian Regan. You have a lot of people who are just really good at it. Ryan Hamilton, he's a new upcoming guy. Oh, this is it right here? Yeah, so my MacBook did a lot of work. Okay. This is the one I thought was hilarious. This is James Gunn, who, by the way, is fantastic.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's amazing.
He really is.
And to discredit him because of his personal likes and dislikes, let's be honest, that's all they are, right? I mean, you like things I don't like. I mean, you're wearing a fake Rolex, and I don't like fake Rolexes. I like real ones.
Yeah.
We know it's real. But anyway, let's read this tweet. James Gunn, at James Gunn. This hotel shower is the weakest ever. Felt like a 3-year-old was peeing on my head. That is so.
But listen,
funny.
Like Seth and I, we find that I feel like we find the sense of humor in that. We find the joke in that. when other people are they look for things to be upset about. Like, people really do. I feel like people genuinely find things on the internet or find people that are doing good, like people that are making it, and they look for something to just attack them with. Like, they want to bring them down. It's almost like they want to see them fail, and that bugs me. Like, that.
That's toxic people. That's toxic people, though. I mean, you and I both have had times in our life simultaneously in sync where we've had a single toxic person or a single toxic group that would manifest themselves.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't. Sometimes that's not really who they are. Sometimes they're not really like that, dude. And a lot of times what you have to do when you realize that they're like that is, and this is something you and I both experienced going to a seminar one time, is you can either starve relationships or stab relationships. And this is a preacher who actually discussed this, and something I really got very organically out of it is that's so true. There's two ways to end a relationship: starve it or stab it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, in this case, there's too many people stabbing stuff when they just starve it. You can make someone go polar opposite. Someone just fall into depression, fall into more anxiety, and it's not that it's your fault, but you are an ingredient to that. Now, that's saying that you care about other people's feelings, which aren't always good.
No.
I mean, you should, though. You should be compassionate. You should be genuine. But now we're coming back to the point where people are just being ridiculous with this whole "don't hurt my feelings" thing.
Yeah.
Because they get so mad at it.
Yeah. They're protecting something. It's really weird.
Like people who are anti having a beard and people who are like, hipsters have beards, like stuff like that. And that is ridiculous. If you ever get mad at anybody saying that you have a messed up beard and it just throws you into like go ham mode, that's ridiculous, dude. Get over yourself.
Yeah.
And on top of that, if you like wearing pink and you only wear it to make a statement, that's simple stuff, man. That's ridiculous. This guy made a couple of jokes that revolved around his type of humor. Let him have his humor. Now, if they investigated and found icky things that he was involved in, that's different.
That's way different.
But they didn't. The dude is just an odd guy.
Well, we don't know that. That's the thing. We don't know if he's an odd guy. We don't.
But he's Hollywood.
What's his personality like? Is he more like a comedian? Does he like to be funny? Does he just have that sense of humor? Because I'm sure there are many people that know him, and many people that have it. And then with the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy, they backed him with like hardcore. Man, these guys really, you could tell they knew him as a person, and they weren't
that's all of them. And that's all
that.
of them, right? Though all of them backed him. It wasn't just his. It wasn't just that clique. It wasn't just that. And he then obviously he wasn't a toxic person.
No, I genuinely believe that the guy's a good guy. He's got a sense of humor that people don't like, and people like to destroy.
That Disney did not like.
Disney.
So you're talking about the Disney and Fox merging together, and then this is going the censorship thing. Going back to however far long ago it was, 2009, 2011, Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't even thought of yet.
But it was something that was brought up though. Somebody brought it up. It went viral, and then it caught Disney's attention. I believe, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But I feel like
that's a good point. This could have been something that they sought out to find a way to defeat him, to find a way to find a new director. Possibly there were things that, God bless you.
Oh, man, it went away. I know. Actually, it was right there. Oh man, that sucks. Dude, I hate when that happens.
Dude, when you sneeze, that epinephrine feels good afterwards, man. Makes you feel so good. So, like, you have Disney coming in, maybe wanted someone else to do the next one. Same thing in job sites. You don't like some guy, you're going to find a way to fire him because you can't find anything. So they go back in his history. They go back in his social media history and find something.
I really don't think that's what it is, because you see things like this repeating itself, and when it was brought up by and like I said, I could be totally wrong on this. I didn't do enough research on it, but I believe that it was brought up by just somebody that's lonely and depressed and not happy with themselves and are looking for something.
Well, doesn't you have Twitter? I have one, but
I don't get on it. I don't ever get on Twitter.
Okay, so like I know that people retweet a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a retweet.
Yeah, it's like a viral, like someone went viral, and then Disney had to make a move. They had to decide, okay, what am I going to do? Do we want to back this guy? Like with the whole thing with Nike, with sports stuff, with Colin Kaepernick, whatever, Kaepernick sticks.
Yeah.
The whole thing with kneeling during the anthem,
mm-hmm.
And then he kind of got into a bad situation, and Nike went and sponsored him. I think that was a marketing, but I think they were just trying to make money. And
any advertisement is good advertisement.
Yeah, anyway, I feel like Disney had to make a decision on, okay, what am I going to do? How are we going to handle this? And they almost had to boot him. But what I just found out today, what I'm really happy about is that they're bringing him back on board. And that's
awesome.
And he's good. He's really good.
He really is good.
He's good.
And the cool thing is, over the past 10 years or so, the people who haven't been getting the credit in movies have started getting the credit. With directors, producers, because of social media.
Yeah.
So we can talk all the censorship stuff. This is on social media right here. But the cool thing is, the great thing is how powerful it is, because it can build you up or it could tear you down. You have people like, you have so many people who have been built up. Some people maybe you don't know, but like Sam Harris and Jordan B. Peterson, people who are very inspirational, who are very intelligent, very smart, have been built up and then tore down. From someone saying something about what they said however long ago, and I think what the fascinating thing is, that's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
That is a world where someone can put on a fake show and make thousands of dollars, millions of dollars off of their fake show, of their fake life.
Yeah.
Now, some of it does exist. You get that damn Brazilian guy. That's a real dude living that real way.
Yeah.
And a lot of people envy that.
Yeah.
But he gets these things and shows them off, all that stuff. But the cool thing about James Gunn is that this was a pathway to redemption for him.
Yeah.
Now, whether he took a path or they just, I think they were quivering and they were shackled down and they needed a key to get out of their prison.
Yeah.
Maybe they was like, hey, maybe they were like, we can't do this without him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also very important to realize, is sometimes even if you try to get someone out of your life or something out of your life, then it was good for you, but you didn't know it at that time. Sometimes you need to take that thing back in your life, because that will be beneficial for you. Maybe you did need that job you used to have, because maybe it wasn't paying as much, but maybe you were content with it.
Yeah.
And maybe it was what you needed. Or, your boss called you back. Dude, what a feeling.
Yeah.
If your boss called you back, or you lost a contract. Let's say you're self-employed like I am. You lost a contract. And then those people say, hey, look, we're losing sales.
Yeah.
We're not making hard. They need you, man.
They need you.
Imagine how James felt with that.
Yeah.
James Gunn was feeling on top of the world, I bet you, when they called him back.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we were talking about earlier, earlier today, was how everything happens. I believe that everything happens for a reason. And I think that there's seasons in your life where things come and go. Friendships come and go. Not every friendship is meant to be forever. Not every friendship or not every relationship is meant to be forever. Not every job is meant to be forever. You learn and you grow and you build your character, and you become you're being molded into the person that the best version of yourself that you can be, if you allow it.
Well, those are steps you have to take,
Yeah.
right? And those are things you have to do, and to have progress in life. Progress in life only happens if you're moving forward.
Yeah.
Maybe everything, it does happen for a reason. Maybe there's a grand plan, but the main thing to understand is, if you have a goal, or if you're working towards a goal, at least you're getting somewhere. You have these anticipating emotions of, that, like, getting an email and it's saying one thing, but getting a phone call and it's saying something else.
Yeah.
That's what that. Imagine if you get an email that says something equivalent like what happened to you today, and then you get that phone call, something totally different. That anticipation, right?
Yeah.
But when you're working in these goals, one goal, next goal, next goal, now you're at one goal where you just don't feel like you're getting nowhere. You're at a stalemate, and I hate those. Those are that's my thing. Or I feel like I'm stuck. I feel like I'm doing all this work. I'm anticipated every move. I'm waiting on all these answers, and now I have all the answers, and I'm set at a standstill. What do I do next? Just keep moving, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing you really do. Keep moving, and then see what you can do to improve in the position that you're in.
Yeah.
I don't think that waiting around for things to happen is a good idea.
There's no. You don't. There's no. You have to feel like you're progressing, and there's. Any time that I've ever been in a standstill where I've had to wait for something, it's always been, it's depressing, man. It's like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life right now? Yeah. And I've been in there, man, so many times where I didn't know, I just didn't know where to go. I felt like I had no purpose. Even though there was something that was forming to happen, I feel like there was people. It's a what do they call it? Like a butterfly effect or like a ripple in the ocean where it just carries on. You just gotta wait for your moment. I feel like waiting is being No. Okay, here we go. Being patient. If you don't have to wait and do nothing while being patient,
it is easy to mistake patience for anticipating the next, or it's in mistaking patience for sitting still. I think even though you're sitting still though, and even though I have a lot of things going on in my life, you have a lot of things going on in your life, we're waiting on a few things. So right now we're doing something, and whatever you do, a lot of people get home, go to the fridge, get something to drink, get something to eat, sit on the couch, wake up, go to work the next day.
Yeah.
And while you're sitting there doing nothing, Uncle Rico said it in Napoleon Dynamite. You might as well be doing something while you're doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a small mentality of just really starting to put to exercise. Man, there's so many things you could be doing instead of sitting around. I'm guilty of it. Everyone's guilty of it. But on the seventh day, last I checked, Jesus took a break.
He chilled.
He chilled, man. He took a nap. He slept, he rested. So I think it's good, you have your mind working, mind's moving.
But whenever you need to, everybody knows what they need to be doing.
Your body tells you.
Your body,
your
whenever
mind
you need
tells
to
you.
chill.
Your soul, your spouse will tell you. Your grandma would tell you. Your whoever, your guy, your friend will tell you, dude, you look like crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll give you that once, a little, like you look like up and down, Dude, you like crap.
Looking a little rough today.
Yeah, Mr. Nose Trimmer much, huh? So I think it's good for people to tell you that. And then maybe you do need to step back and take a break. That's why people get married. That's why people have kids. That's why people endure the whole soccer practice, baseball practice thing,
Yeah.
Or that's why some friends will help another friend, help their parents do something. It's good to wait. It's good to be patient. I'm sorry. It's good to be patient.
Yeah, patient.
It's good to be patient.
But do something.
Do something.
And then like we were talking about earlier is whenever you're in that waiting stage and you're in that depressed mode where you're just like, I'm not worth anything. Like I just need to just chill. I can't do anything good. I can't do anything right.
Those thoughts keep crossing in front of you.
And then knowing in the back, in your subconscious, that you need to go to the gym, or that you need to go. You need to go to church or whatever it is that you believe in, or a hobby that you do. Like you like to make things. You like to fabricate things, and you like to paint. I like to bird watch.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I know you like to bird watch.
I really do.
No, you like. Here's what you like to do. You like to boil crawfish. So you like to cook. You like culinary stuff.
Yeah.
You like to do other things with other people.
Yeah.
And like you're doing with me right now. Like you like this.
Yeah.
So what we also talked about today. You get happy.
I do.
So depression is really just a wall.
Yeah.
Right? Depression is you're always able to get over it. I don't care what anyone says. If anyone falls into depression, there are ways to get over that. Everything you do is for something, whether it's now or later, and everything you do means something to someone else.
Yeah.
And you always have to remember that.
And someone's always watching, too.
So like, you here with me means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Me here with you means a lot to you. That's something you like.
Right.
That's something you enjoy.
Genuinely, too.
And genuinely enjoy that. So this will carry on through days. This will feed you for days of happiness, days of happiness, days of happiness. And that's all it is, man. A little bit of happy here, a little bit of happy there. You know, dude, go-kart racing, do you know how long I stay happy after that stuff? But also, do you know how long I stay happy after I had a good conversation with somebody? After I sit down with my wife and we just get in, we just start talking. You know, after I get a phone call from one of my parents, my mom or my dad, and they say those, those 3 words, I'm proud, or 4 words, I'm proud of you.
Oh, man.
Dude, that's a big one.
That hits home.
That hits home.
That sticks.
Because, we're still young. We're still in our 20s. But that, I don't think, will ever lose its effect. Gratitude, I always feel uncomfortable with. I don't like pats on the back. I generally don't. However, from certain people at certain times, that's the straw that breaks the camel's back, and that's the strength that puts me towards that next. Now we're not stale anymore, right? Now we're not sitting still anymore. I'm driving around trying to do what I have to do every day. Someone calls me up, man, you're killing it, dude. You're doing a good job. Oh man, that's what I need. I need that fuel.
Yeah, fuel.
That's fuel.
Yeah,
and you need that. That's why it's having good people in your life and not toxic people.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to that. Now sometimes, like I said, you might get rid of somebody and realize, maybe you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe you made a mistake getting rid of them. Look, a wise man learns from his mistakes, but a wiser man learns from others. So maybe it's okay to have a friend of yours that's just the worst. That way you can look at him and be like, dude, you're the worst.
You're an idiot, and I'm never doing what you're doing.
Ever, But look, man, aren't good things contagious, though? So he might look at you, or she might look at you and be like, wow, that side guy, man, he's moving ahead in life. Maybe I should do something about it.
Yeah.
It's all contagious, man. It's all good to have that type of, both of that in your life. How do you know what's good if you don't know what's bad?
Yeah. You got to experience everything. I feel like you got to experience those bad moments to appreciate the good ones.
To both sides. I can't stand when people say like they can't, like, they're I'm just stuck in this rut and having such a bad time. Self-pity. Just talk about how bad they're having it.
Yeah.
Dude, the more you talk about it, the longer you're in that mode. And the more you talk about it, the longer you are in that rut.
And I heard someone say today, I don't want to name drop, but I heard someone say today that it's scientifically proven. Didn't do research on this either. This is just what this person said. When you're in a state of depression, that depressive state wants you to be at home. It wants you to be by yourself, alone, just dwelling in that toxic environment in your head. And he said that they're saying that if you make yourself, like, you have to let your brain don't let your brain do the walking, let your feet do the walking. You tell your brain's going to tell you when you're and this is what this guy was saying, when you're in that state, your brain's going to tell you, I just stay at home. Oh, don't go to the gym. Oh, no, don't go hang out with your friends. Oh, you don't feel like going to eat. You don't feel like going to hang out with your family. You do the opposite, and you let your feet do the walking. And you get up and you do it, and by the time you're halfway there, you're like, wait a minute, I actually want to do this. And then that helps you, you kind of pull out of that.
Well, your brain initially is the part of yourself that tells you to do it, right?
Yeah.
And then you just sit there, stale, idle, and just let those thoughts run.
Yeah.
That's a big issue. Don't let your thoughts run. Make your feet run, man. Like you just said.
Man.
Willpower. That has a lot to do with willpower, you know. And look, remembering to do the things in life that are worth living for the next day, the day after that. You know, I think having plans keeps you going, you know. That's our timer.
Yep. I think we're on a good. I like what we're doing. I mean,
yeah.
You're the host.
Oh, I am the host.
Hostess with the mostest.
I'm the hostess with the mostest, cooking up hostess in my toasters. Let me lap this.
So what do you want to do? Oh, we're going to lap it? We'll be right back, guys.
We'll be right back after this message.
You don't have to pause this.
This episode is brought to you by 3G Fabrications. For all your fabrication needs and actually really just mini bikes. That's right. Mini bikes galore. Engine building, frame building, and awesome building. Actually, we build friendships.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the show.
So what we were sorry for cutting you off, host.
Yeah, you know, we're trying to upgrade some equipment here soon. We'll do some better stuff. But anyway,
it's a learning experience. It's the best part, man. And I know you're like this too. I love to learn new things. And sometimes it's frustrating, like this whole podcast thing. I know it's been like because there's so many there's so many moving parts to this. I seriously underestimated it. Yeah. And
going back to the plan things and like do one day for the next day.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is like.
Yeah.
This is exactly like that. This is. I didn't know I needed this. I didn't know I needed that. You know, I bought my sound mixer. I bought my microphone. I bought my boom mic. I bought this. I bought that. Then I didn't realize I needed the video card. Well, then I realized that working on this type of thing is really difficult. You know, so we excuse me, I got the hiccups. But we
But don't you love? Don't you love? Once this is once this is over though. You're just gonna have so much more knowledge than you had before you even started. Before you started this whole thing, you have this clear understanding, and that's my favorite part. Is whenever you can explain something that was once difficult to you that you couldn't even comprehend. Whenever you can explain it simply to someone,
yes,
that's when you know.
That's why I get so happy when I click on a YouTube video and I watch it. And I told you this today, and they get straight to the point. They get straight to the point. All right, guys, let's get after it. Explain it simple because they went through all the hard work. They went through all the effort, all the trial and error. And guess what? You don't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
You are there. And this is about being a blessing to other people, too. Being a blessing to someone else is really important.
Yeah.
Going back to, having maybe someone in your life that's not really beneficial. Maybe you're the beneficial person in their life.
They need you.
They need you.
Yeah.
You might not need everyone in your life, but they all might need you.
Yeah.
And that's a very important thing to remember whenever you're at your lowest. Remember, man, all these other people out here in your life, they need you. So just remember that. Remember that when you come to your lowest point in your life.
Yeah. And I know sometimes you know who that person is in your life. Like, man, they really do need me. But it's so like in your head. Like I get like this in my head. I'm like, man, that's so self-absorbent. That's cocky to think.
That's like writing your own resume, right? Writing your own resume. You just sit there and brag about yourself. Talk about how good you are at your job and how great you are. But you know what? That person that reads that resume, that you're looking for that job, only knows what he can read, right? So people only know what you show them. You are good at stuff. You know, you're good at talking to people, I'm good at talking to people. You're good at relating, I'm good at relating. You know, so if we have those strengths and yet don't display them, don't talk about them even, or mainly display, mainly do those things, well, guess what? No one's going to feed off of that.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to hire you to live in their life.
Yeah.
For, like if you were having on a resume or something like that.
Well, another thing is I think it's easy to push someone away that needs you by you constantly feeding. Like a lot of, and I used to do this, man. I used to feel like people needed to hear what I had to say to them. Like I know what that there's advice that I have for this person, and they need to be doing this, and they need to hear me say that, and I would tell them that, and they would accept. They would take it in, and I feel like they would listen to me. But most people don't want. They want you to listen to them. They want me to listen to them. And if they have a question about something, and this is what I've been learning, like this past year, I've learned a lot of stuff, just personally, and self growth.
Self-awareness?
Growth, yeah. Growing my character and building my character and growing into a better person. Mm-hmm. I've learned that just let them talk. You don't have to talk. I don't have to talk. I don't have I don't have to give someone advice. And it made me feel good when I used to, when that was like something that I wanted to do. Oh, I gotta give this person advice. And when I did, it would make me feel really good. I'd be like, oh, I feel like fulfilled. I feel great about myself right now. But really, that person maybe heard 30 minutes of what I was trying to tell them. And this is, and I really believe that now, and I didn't see it from when I was in those moments, but now I do. So I really, now I step back and I just listen. And if they want my advice, they'll ask for it. And they do, like people do, not a lot of people, but they'll ask me.
Especially when it's a very opinionated thing.
Yeah.
That's more back and forth type of thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who are struggling, or if you're struggling, or if they just need someone to talk to, ideally that's the way to do it.
And the biggest thing is the question, hey, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you all right?
No one's ever honest with that, though. I mean, there are some people who are honest. I don't mean to speak for everybody.
Well, you're good, and then you say, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Nah, man. What's up?
Dude.
What's up?
Dude, that almost made me cry.
I'm good. I'm good at that. And I want to make you cry on this Booggie Broadcast.
Dude, eventually I will. You know how I am. I cry at everything. That's why I didn't watch Toy Story 3. Still haven't seen it.
There's a third one?
Dude, there's a fourth one coming out, and it is gut-wrenching. It's going to be good.
All of them are good, man. They're making some good movies right now.
They are, man. All these movies are good. And look, there's relatable movies. There's movies that are helping people. There's movies that are bringing people out of the dark. There's movies that are putting people in the light that had needed to be in the light a long time ago. Look, I grew up in a type of circle that was so anti-Hollywood that they thought going to the movies was wrong. That they thought, renting and doing stuff like that, But look, renting movies and stuff like that, or having iPhones and internet service and all that jazz. Look, there are tools out there, and there are things that can be used by other people who may not benefit you in your little circle. But guess what? There are other circles that don't connect to yours, that these other people and these other avenues and other ways that are trying to do something in their life could be beneficial to someone else, somewhere else in a different circle. And that's something we have to remember, is being very sympathetic and empathetic. Understanding that not just what you're against is always a bad thing. It's really not. You can be really defensive with things, and it bothers me when people just get so defensive. Going back to what you were saying, sometimes just listen. Even if you don't agree with something someone's saying, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like right now you can't talk back because, y'all are just listening. But, I've changed in this way. I've shut that part of me off. Someone has something to say, and I want to say something back bad, mm-hmm. which I don't really have that type of bone in my body, but I have friends that do. I keep hitting this mic. I have friends that do, but I shut that part of me off. Let me just hear what this person has to say, and maybe I can get something out of this.
And you told me the other day, you're working on not saying I know. And after you said that, and even today, I was thinking, I say that a lot. I really do. I say, oh yeah, I know, man. But do I know? I don't really know.
Well, I mean, are you saying intentionally or subconsciously?
I think subconsciously I say I know, but I don't know. You're telling me.
You're not. But are you trying to shut them down? Is the thing. That's my thing. I don't want someone to think like if I'm talking to you and you say I know, I don't. Or if I'm sorry, you're talking to me and I say I know. Sometimes I don't mean to say that to shut you down. But sometimes I mean to say that because I don't want you to think that I didn't know, that I was some unintelligent or like maybe you or had a one up on me or something.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Both ways. I both ways. I do the same thing. And I do that a lot. I think. I think I when someone's talking to me and they're telling me about how a NASA space shuttle is built, I'm probably gonna say I know. Dude, I have no idea. I have no idea. And when you told me that you're trying to stop doing that, you're getting that part of your vocabulary out in conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about that a lot. I really need to stop doing that.
Well, it's more so like I just want to shut that part of me off, and just when people talk about Seth, I don't know what they say because I'm not there.
Yeah.
So the thing I definitely I know, quote unquote, I know I don't want them to say is he's a know-it-all.
Yeah.
Or he is something that you just can't have a conversation with Seth. He's just too hard to have a conversation with. I wouldn't be doing this if I thought that. However, there are areas I can always grow, and that's one that I had self-awareness with. I saw it in myself. Like, you know what, man? Try harder. I'm trying hard. I don't want to use filler words like I don't want to use those things. I want to try to work on my speech. I want to try to work on my relationships with people. But that's something you should really never stop doing. You're never done learning, right? We're a quarter of a century old. If God allows it, and if the universe allows it, mankind allows it, we don't get car wrecks or some tragedy don't happen, we don't get cancer or something. We could plan on living a good full life.
Yeah.
We could do these things early on. That's what people say. Invest early.
Yeah.
How about investing in yourself?
Yeah.
How about investing in having a better vocabulary? How about investing in having more certifications with other things that implement better curriculum or better jobs or stuff like that? How about not working on speech? How about not working on communication? Look, I need to work on my speech right there.
Communication.
Yes. So, why not work on those things that will not only better you.
Yeah.
Look, man, if I'm improving in my life, guarantee you, whoever's connected to me can feed off of that.
Yeah.
Same thing with you.
Totally.
And look, you can reach people and touch people I can't reach, and that's one really important thing.
But I think you and I don't mean to get personal here, but you and I have always vibed together. Like things in our life have.
You said something to me in a text message recently that really clicked with me. And this was talking about you saying, like, I wanted to get back to skateboarding. I remember this. I want to get back in skateboarding. We were never good at it. We already said that before. But anyway, you said, man, I really think you need to focus on your podcast.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I said, wow, dude, you're right. I said, I just, I started chasing these rabbit holes. I just want to do all these things. And you said, we are in sync. S-Y-N-K. S-Y-N-K. Dude, I need to work on my knowledge. Anyway, S-Y-N-C. You said, man, we are in sync.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, how much more accountability can you get when someone's like, dude, no, you need to do this. And then you become instantly aware of what they just said. You're like, whoa. Yes. Man, being married is like that, Catherine's always telling me, Seth, you need to stop doing this, leaving dishes in the sink or something silly like that.
Sometimes you don't even realize you're doing something.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It takes accountability to help you realize that.
It's
look,
good.
You're not doing everything right. Hey, you are slacking in this area.
But I don't think that, like, if I'm doing something, and it's harming me, I think and I know Seth would step in a heartbeat and say, hey man,
if the bridge is out,
get it together, brother.
Yeah.
Like that, and I know you would say that to me. Sometimes if I'm doing, and I know you've done this before, when I doing something that was toxic for my life, but it wasn't detrimental to my life. You didn't say anything. You were just like, hey man, do your thing. And I learned, and I'm glad he did that because I learned from it. I made mistakes in my past, and he saw me making the mistakes. And as a friend, as a close friend, you knew when to say, hey man, what you doing? What's up?
Yeah.
And you knew when to say, hey man, do your thing. Because I had to learn from that. I really did. And I wouldn't, there's no way that I would be who I am today if it wasn't for those moments in my life where you and other, my parents and people were just but you were a lot closer to me in a lot of in the dark times in my life, so you were able to say you were able to say, hey man, you good? Or hey man, don't do that. Or hey man, do your thing. And I learned a lot from that. I feel like you're about to cry, Seth.
No, I'm about to cry.
You're about to cry.
I'm about to say that. I was going to say something. I mean, that to me had a lot to do with letting my guard down to actually tell you that.
Yeah.
Or letting my guard down to actually tell that to someone else. Or someone else letting their guard down to tell me that.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine who, he's a good guy. I don't talk to him much anymore. And, that all comes down to, it's our fault. We have social media. But he said the biggest problem friends have is telling each other when they're doing something wrong. Because we want to be supportive, right? I support you, you support me. I support, especially, like my siblings. You support your sister, or I support my brother. We always want to do that. But hey, look, what's better than helping someone doing something? Stopping someone from doing something. And that's super important and very, very overlooked.
Yeah.
People overlook that. Like someone might be listening to this saying, well, that's ridiculous. I've never had to tell any of my friends I'm supportive. You know what's more supportive than doing something for someone? Telling someone to stop doing something.
Yeah. You're right.
Or, something along that lines. Man,
right.
My parents had a lot to do with that. Mom and Dad, y'all are everything to me, and y'all are the only reason I am what I am today. I feel very irresponsible for my success in life.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that my parents are the main ones that have everything to do with that.
You have incredible parents. I talked to your dad on the phone today for 32 seconds, and man, I was just like, oh, the conversation's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got lives, and we got it. And I told him, I said, I'm going to come see you soon. And he was like, yeah, man, that'd be nice. And I just love talking to your parents. I really do. Mine too. Love you, Mom. Love you, Dad.
Love y'all.
Yeah, word. But I love talking to your parents. They have insights, and they have they sit down right here with you, and they talk to you, and they want to know. They want to help you. Really do. Genuinely love your parents, man. They're awesome people.
Man, they have always been good at getting on other people's levels, which is an extension, going back, they were contagious in mine and Isaiah's life. Isaiah and I had a lot of learning experiences growing up. Passing of my brother was a huge one, which was not that long ago, 4.5 years. But the main thing is my parents taking us as children and sharing those contagious things at an early age, but also consistency, being consistent in that way. And my parents have always been consistent. So that's my goal. I would, when I have children, I want to be just like my parents were.
Yeah, man. You've got some good ones. I'm blessed with two amazing parents too. Dad was the disciplined guy. Mom was the
go-to, huh?
The go-to, man. She showed me love. Dad showed me the hard love. He showed me tough love. I'm sorry, tough love is the right. And those two combinations together, it made me a king.
A king.
A king.
Man, your mom and dad really, really are so still involved in y'all's life.
Super, yeah.
That's rare, man.
Not too much though, man. They know boundaries. They don't I know parents that do. They overstep, and I see it, and it's really annoying.
No, that's true.
They know when to. But if I ask them to, like I'll ask my mom to cross that boundary, and she'll say, "Wait, so I don't want to get too involved into your personal life. I don't want to be a burden." I'm like, "No, Mom, I need you to do it. I really need you here."
And that must make them feel really good, though. Whenever you tell them that they need you.
That too. They're there. They're there.
And someone might be listening to this saying, "I'm in my 30s. I don't need my parents that much. That's fine and dandy. But remember, if you are a parent, those are the times to remember when you were a kid.
Yeah.
What your parents didn't do, what your parents did do that may or may not help you. We're in different times, though, man. These are different times, and it's not to say that you can't use the same things and the same, the same methods. You can use similar methods, but Michael Scott, how the turntables. Things are just totally flippity-floppity, man. It's so the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that, it's something that we have to relearn, I think. We have to relearn a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Because of technology. And if you underestimate technology, shame on you. You should not underestimate the power of technology. You're saying that the dangers don't lie. Most of dangers don't lie within technology. They genuinely do lie within technology. We are connected to every person in the world via internet. Every person. It's the most dangerous thing out there right now. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
The leading death of teenagers is suicide. A lot of that is linked back to social media, back to text messaging, back to integrative apps, and back to gaming, and back to things like that. People, or YouTube, people connected with each other, And look, it's dangerous. It's a great tool. The internet is another world. I would dare say the internet is another dimension. It's still part of this world. There's still things going on there, but we might not always be able to see it. And that's just one thing to remember when you have children. Mainly, one thing to remember when you have, yourself. You just have to keep that in mind. Keep that in check, And I think that's it's a good way to end this thing.
Yeah, man. And I am super stoked to and like Seth said earlier, I love doing this. I love hanging out, man, and just talking. I know the last one we goofed around a lot.
We're trying to break the mold.
Yeah, and I feel, and I was telling Seth this earlier. The first podcast, I was nervous. When I'm nervous, I don't open my mouth all the way when I talk, and I don't even know if I've been doing that today. I feel
like you've been talking to me though.
I feel a lot better. Yeah, this is the conversation that we have a lot. And I'm just glad to be able to be able to share that and share our thoughts and man, I appreciate you having me over here and had a good time. That was good.
Really yeah, man, can't wait to do the next one and the next one. Just layer these things out, man. I really appreciate you doing this with me, being so willing and learning with me.
Yeah,
and
I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for just this podcast, and I know you're not doing it for the future success of your children. I know that's not the case, and I know he's just doing this because he genuinely likes to do. He likes to talk. He likes to dig in, dive in. Sometimes likes to joke around. Likes to learn. And I'm not. If I'm not here. He's got a pretty good idea of who the people that he's told me that he's going to have on here. Man, I'm excited to hear that, man. These guys are intelligent. It's great.
I really tried hard and surround myself with good people, and I can't wait to have them on. It's going to be really awesome. A good learning experience for all of us, and a good way to share. I'm not trying to share my life. Let's just get that out the way. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to share my ideologies and my methods and my beliefs in my life and I'm not political, none of that stuff. I just want people to understand or to show people that I have good friends. Friendships mean a lot to me, but also I love to learn. And if I can have someone tag along with me, that's like if I'm halfway interesting to somebody and they find me interesting and they say, if Seth likes something, man, maybe I'll like it too.
Mm.
And then, pull them in, dive them in. And if it happens organically, that's how I'm going to let it happen, man.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
I just enjoy this. This so far has been my favorite project I've ever done.
It's awesome.
Versus anything I've ever painted or anything I've ever built or anything. This is the best.
I've enjoyed watching you come together, and this is while it's been so it's been trying to figure everything out,
learning curves everywhere we go.
But it's still so enjoyable. And I know that whenever he gets everything figured out, man, he's just gonna be like cling, 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 cling.
I'll get to the point where it's button after button after button. Call me DJ Boogie. I'm gonna hit those buttons.
Hey man, I got an idea how we should end this.
How's that?
With some shine, man. Where's that?
Shine. Oh, I don't know if I could do that.
What about?
How about this? How about hit y'all with a little tune that goes a little something like this. Yeah. Thanks, guys. See y'all later.